Awesome. I think we're live, guys.
What's up, guys? Oops.
What's up? How are you?
Doing good.
So how do I send this link to? Oh, we're gonna invite guests, not invite guests, but how do I promote this link?
Just go to our YouTube,
Okay, should have done
which
that.
is Three Dads Do Real Estate,
Yes, sir.
episode 2.
Episode 2. We are just starting off. And speaking of episode 2, we have what is it? I talked to one of my buyers that I found out is like for mobile home parks. He's starting to create content, and he said he was willing to be on our interview with us. And I was like,
Oh,
so he was like, he's a big boy buyer, and I basically have a really good relationship with him, and we own a park together. So okay, I'm in the YouTube, the tube of YouTube. So what do I do now?
I see you're on there. Just take click share.
Share.
Yeah.
Your channel?
No, just share the video.
Okay, I see. We're live. Share. Okay. Here's the link for you guys to put it on your stuff, and we'll put it on our. Join our episode 2.
How was that? How was that agent interview?
Oh my God, it was so much fun. So what we're doing is, since we can't meet every week, I'm going to try to do a separate agent interview, or other quote unquote guests, in between, maybe, to just get other videos, so it's like weekly. And then you guys are more than welcome to add whoever, if you guys have a plan of someone you want to bring on. That way I was just like, again, just free fall, no schedule, no, just whoever wants to go on live and talk about something and has something scheduled, has an interesting call, kind of speak on it.
That is a great idea.
Yeah. So we have our weekly calls, our channel, and we talk about. I mean, regardless, we're just the title of this episode is just taking action, and what we should have first learned. So we don't really have a script. We don't really have we're just doing what we think is right and what we want to do. Go fail forward, right? We still don't even have a logo. Okay, guys, let's be real.
Oh, I keep forgetting.
Well, it's not all on you, so
no, that's fine. I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's just this is what it takes, right? This is where
we're taking action.
Yeah, so.
And I love it.
I'm just trying to figure out what the best way to do it is, so that we are all committed in doing this one way or another. So we are live with Three Dads Do Real Estate. Join us on our channel. I'm just doing this on Instagram as well, just so people can know. So watch both. Mute one, watch both. Our watch time goes up. I was sending messages to my friends to be like, hey, can you just play this in the background? It's you don't have to listen to any of the content. Just play it in the background. Just keep it to the end. Let's let it ride.
Well, don't give away the trade secrets here, John.
I mean, hey, this is unscripted action right here. No.
Don't they have farms in Asia where they have thousands of phones in a storage shed that does that?
I'm sure they do. That's the craziness thing, right? I'm
you
sure
can start
they
a business, Myron.
So that's how you get views.
Yeah. So that's how Mr. Beast does it, right? It's not creating interesting content. He just has a farm of people that he's paying.
Just clicking links to go watch videos. Got it. Okay. Well, why don't we take a minute and introduce ourselves? Kirk, I think you should go first.
Yes.
Okay. So the way I like to introduce myself is, hey, do y'all know Elena Tang? I'm the other guy. I'm the guy. My name is Kirk Tang. I'm an architect. I do residential design. My great passion. I'm married to Elena Tang. She's married to me, but in fact, she's married to me. And
I mean, she said yes, right? So it's like,
we have two beautiful kids, and it's a blessed life. And my mindset shifted about 1.5 years ago, and here I am, taking imperfect action.
dude, that's what it's about. Like,
amazing. I think it's funny that you say that. Like, do you know Elena?
like the introduction is not, hi, my name is Kurt. It's like, hey, do you know Elena?
That's how I introduce myself in some too, man.
That's hilarious.
It's so funny, man. But I think it's cool, like what you offer, what your skill set is very, I don't want to say the wrong thing here, but you have a different skill set than Elena. Like, you bring a lot of different energy, you bring a lot of different ideas. And so like, Carolyn,
what up, dads? What up?
What was I saying? You bring different energy. You bring different ideas to the table, man. So
it's a great balance. It's a great balance. And we call this 3 dads. So, which, a lot of assumptions come into play, right? So there's the husband, right? The son, right? And then lastly, obviously the fatherhood. So I think we're combinations of all that. So yeah. And then I'm embracing it. So let's embrace what it is and go forward.
Right. So I think, go ahead, Myron. I'm still trying to make sure this is all
buddy.
Set correctly.
Hi.
It's not working. My name is Myron. I have kind of the same introduction as Kurt, but if y'all have seen Carolyn, anyway. So my name is Myron Briley in Dallas, Texas. Started real estate 1.5 years ago-ish. And we have a couple doors. We have a couple multifamily, couple sub-2s. I was in car washing for a long time. Like, it was my first job ever, and I kind of stayed in it. And I had my own detailing business for a while. And I left my job. We sold our house, and I left my job. We had a little bit of money in the bank, and I said, we're all in. We're going for it.
Yes.
And so Carolyn and I we put a flip under contract, put $5,000 down to a wholesaler. Had no idea what we were doing. It was 2 houses on 1 lot out in Greenville, Texas. And it was a bad decision. So we backed out. We lost $5,000. And
that's painful. That hurts.
It was a good lesson to learn. It really sucked, but I didn't want to do that ever again. So I just need a mentor. I need a mentor. And I actually went on like LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and I'm like messaging people. Wow. I need a mentor. Can you help me? And everybody said no.
Oh my goodness.
And we were at a
brutal.
Yeah, tough, bro. And like, we went to a Bigger Pockets meetup, and this person goes, do you know, have you seen Pace Morby stuff? I'm like, what is that? I didn't know that was a name. And so I started researching it, and within 48 hours I signed up. And so when I left the car wash, I'm like, if I do anything else, it's going to be for myself. It's going to be for myself, because what I've given the last however many years is to someone else, right? And so now we're here to build up our own thing. We're going to we're going to do it for us, do it for our buddies, do it for our family, and like, let's live great lives for us.
Yes,
absolutely.
So, that's in a nutshell. I do integrator stuff. Like, I build out systems for people. We love sub 2. We love seller finance. I'm not really looking to do flips or anything like that. But maybe if these two dudes want to do a flip, I do it. But that's about it.
Don't say it too fast. Don't say it too loud. You don't know what's gonna happen.
I know someone's gonna send you a flip, and you're gonna be like, "Hey, you want to do this?" And you're gonna be like, I said it live. I don't know if I want to."
Kirk want to do it with me. That's it.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you, Myron. Thank you, Kurt.
Thank you.
My name is John, and I have been in sub 2 since 2020, and I'm still finding my way. I learned about real estate about 4 years ago. I learned about PACE and that group about 7 months into real estate. And I was like, I need to figure out how to talk better. I need to figure out how to like construct deals better. I didn't understand like the sales process and all that. So obviously PACE is like the way that he paints pictures, you know, it's just worlds beyond what I was even expecting. And then got to meet you guys, and we are here now, you know, after what, Dallas was almost 8 months ago, right? I think July.
I cannot believe that's been 8 months. That's crazy.
I know. Isn't that crazy? Dallas was 8 months ago. And so we're here, and we're just trying to figure out real estate later in our lives, and we want to show that it can be done. Just a little bit of restructuring our priorities, restructuring some of the times that we spend doing other stuff. And we know that real estate will get us to where we need to get to. We're just going to figure out a way how. And every path and everyone's different. I want to remind everybody, this is being shown over virtually across 3 different time zones, meaning I'm in Maryland.
Myron, where are you at?
Dallas, Texas.
And I'm on the West Coast, baby.
Yeah. Our meeting times are not very easy with all of our schedules, with all of our, I mean, it's bad. But bottom line is we're trying to make this a priority for everyone to just show that, hey, if we can inspire 1 or 2 dads to be like, hey, you know what? I want to not waste my time doing a bunch of other stuff, and I want to be able to provide like 1 or 2 rental properties. You guys you don't have to build an entire portfolio, right? That's kind of, everyone has their own whys of doing what. And I was actually thinking about this the other day. We perceive success as having the jet, the Lamborghini, or traveling this and that, right? Everyone could do with 1 to 5 rental properties, making extra $400 a month, right? That's an extra $2,000 a month. And I was thinking, and I was talking to somebody, I don't remember who it was, and I was like, if you save that $2,000 a month, right? That's $24,000 a year. That's a beautiful family vacation, fully paid by other people. That's not even a 1-week vacation. That's like a solid 2-week, no holds bar. Kids go to Disney World, fast pass every day. Like, it does not matter. And that's 5 rental properties. I was like, I was thinking, I was doing the math, and I'm like, wait a second. I spent $11,000 on going to California last year. If I have this, then I can go to California twice a year without even thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what 5 rental properties gets you at $400, because that's our typical minimum, right? Everyone has a different threshold. Some people go to $250, to some people go $400. Anything over that is bonus, right? And that's what's crazy about it. It's just like 5, and all of us have different numbers. All of us have different ideas of how we want to, our level of success, right? How many people we want to be able to touch and help. And I think that's a beautiful thing that we're just trying to create that. Like, say, like, we're just 3 regular dudes that learned real estate later in our lives. That's kind of our model right now. And we're just trying to make it work. So cool.
And I want to add to that, which is you're just mentioning net cash flow, right?
Yes.
And
not gross.
we're not even talking about the compounding effect of owning one year after year, et cetera, et cetera.
Yep.
So again, the added benefits are just amazing, and there's so much to learn. But we're here today. We're talking taking action. We're talking, 3 videos that we're gonna.
Yeah. 3 videos each.
That were important to us, I guess, in our
or
journey.
channels. Yeah. People
that change our mindset and help us to grow, and yeah, we want to end up sharing with you guys. Imperfect action is a beautiful thing, so that's what we're doing.
Like we're in week 2 and we still don't have a logo. You don't need a fancy logo to do this. We're just like
we are the logo.
We are. Yeah, exactly, right. The biggest thing is like I was just like, I don't even know, like when we went live last week, we were just talking about it, and I was just like, okay, so how do I get this on YouTube? Basically, I YouTube that, and they were like, just download it with this, send the link to this, they'll download it, and it'll script it into YouTube. And I'm like, cool.
Love it.
You guys, I sent you guys a message after. I was like, hey, I posted this on our channel. They're like, what? I was like, we don't even have anything there. I was like, who cares? It's just, put it up. It's just get practice it. I'm kind of learning how. I don't know how I became de facto tech guy, but I'm learning how to put all this together. So this is fun. I mean, it's a different, we got an hour out of our week to kind of talk about what we did and how we do it. That's all. The next thing that we want to talk about, right? That now that introductions are done. So our format is going to be kind of like this. We're going to talk about who we are for the people that don't know us. That way they can get an introduction, quick introduction. That took about 10 minutes. And then we're going to talk about kind of what we do, and then what we want to do and how we want to do it. So top videos to learn. Do you guys have that email? Can you guys send me that email again? Because I don't remember where it is, honestly.
Yeah, buddy.
No, wait a second. I sent the email. I sent you someone. I sent. Why is this email not showing up? See, it's unscripted. This is life, because the slow lagger back here is always gonna not know where it is.
So we had that plan. I want to mention something while you're looking. Yep. We had that plan. Hey, let's get 3 videos. What we wish we knew, what we wish we saw when we started. And I'm like, did you guys see that Alex Hormozy interviewed Grant Cardone?
Parts of it. I didn't see the entire thing.
There were 3 of them, and I watched all of them, and they were freaking amazing. Right? Because it was like, it wasn't all in one one setting. It was like year 1, and then Alex Hormozy took Grant Cardone's suggestions and then actually implemented things and changed his company from whatever it was, 50 million to 300 million. Like implemented things, and they talked the next year. And he paid for, I think he paid $150K for 3 interviews, and he did it in like 2 or 3 years.
Wow.
I'm like, what a badass idea.
Wow.
And I'm like, I go, I want to talk about these videos. I need to go find the link. They're removed. He took them down. I don't know what drama happened, but I'm upset. If anybody in e-world, virtual world has those videos, God, I want them. They were awesome. Anyway.
So these are personal interviews between him and Grant Cardone that, someone's definitely had ripped that link and downloaded that video.
I might text somebody who met Alex the other night.
Brian Cow met him the other night. You should reach out to him.
I'm gonna text him right now.
Yeah.
Hey, text Alex that we want those videos.
You're like, can he jump on our show? Our little 3 dads do this, even though he doesn't have kids yet. Just be like, can you jump on and
So I appreciate that, because we did our homework, and when I was trying to find 3 videos, I was racking my brain. I was like, what 3 videos, and because the last year and a half I've been watching and reading and thinking all this stuff, and there's so much stuff I've seen. And it was really hard to kind of nail down three main videos. I'm glad that I think Myron, for you to pinpoint these specific ones and not being able to find it, for sure. And for me, mine was the first video I saw of Pace, where he was in a hallway.
Oh, that one's really good when he underwrites a deal in the hallway. Like, look at how far he's come, right? Isn't that amazing?
So for sure, seeing Pace and how far he's come from then to now. But not only that, I'm going to shout out Myron, or not Myron, Marlon. Sorry, Marlon was in the background, and Marlon was there. I forgot. I think Eddie was there. And then at the time, he even mentioned the Bash Bros. This is one of the videos which we'll probably put in the description, right? Our videos.
Yeah.
And at the time, Pace was calling these two other guys Bash Bros. I was like, that's not the Bash Bros.
So evolution. It is the
there was an evolution who the Bash Bros was.
But that's consistency, right? I mean, that's the consistency of what they've been doing. I mean, those guys, Eddie and Tyler, are crushing it. Like, the few times that I got to meet Eddie, like, he's been open arms, and it's amazing. Like, you know, and we got down to like understanding like CRMs. Like, he's the integrator of the two, and he was just like, I'm like, hey man, I'm trying to figure this out. He was just like, yo, let's meet up next week, and he gave me an hour, almost 2 hours of his time, and just I have implemented literally probably 90% of his go high level setup into my own, because I was like, nice. Okay, I thank God I recorded that, because it was just like nugget after nugget after nugget. I'm like, okay, what do I have to do here? Okay, I go back and do this. Do it. So, I mean, just the community alone is well worth, you know, lifelong friends, right? So what we'll talk about, I guess you want to talk about your 3 videos first, and why, and what, who, what, where, and why those 3 videos. Because I tried to do that, and I basically went like, okay, if I had to go back and learn this stuff, I would want to watch these channels and get a general understanding before it's just like a specific, like, not one video stands out to me, but I have a couple videos that I constantly reuse because it's on the channel, and you know what I'm saying? So I'm more channel based, because then I just pick and choose what I want, right? And we're all similar into the channel base. So if you guys have a specific video, and I'll do the channels.
I'll start. So for me, it was my perspective when it comes down to it. And for a long time, I didn't realize what mindset meant. that sentence sounds stupid, but people talk mindset, and I have no idea what you're talking about, bro. and the first video I want to recommend is I couldn't really find a particular video, but it's more like Thatch. I don't know his last name. He's up in Washington, but he's like the Burr King, right? So that's what got, like, as we were kind of Elena and I started researching real estate. Thatch really stood out to me, and I was for the first time underwriting what a Burr would look like, and I was like, wow, this is genius. So I picked a random house in Seattle, and I made this fancy Excel spreadsheet, and I underwrote it to the best of my ability, and it came out like it would work. And I'm like, why is this is so easy? Why doesn't everyone do this? So
not every agent is good with numbers.
Well, let me get to my story. I send this document to my friend who's a chief financial officer, CFO at a nonprofit, right? Hundreds of millions of dollars that he manages. I send this document to him, and I go, why doesn't everyone do this? And he calls me. He goes, bro, you got to pay the principal. I left out the underlying debt. And I was like, oh.
So you forgot debt service. That's amazing. That is absolutely amazing.
So, but that was the start, right? And that failing forward, you got to enjoy this process, and you got to be able to laugh at yourself and say, "Man, what a freaking idiot!"
I mean, but that's experience, right? Like that's how you learn. Like in real estate, there's so many books, so many things you can do that, but that's how you just have to do it. And if you'll learn from it, and then next time it gets better, and then it becomes more optimized. I think what a lot of people get afraid of is they're like, oh, I want to do it perfectly the first way because they're afraid of the risk, right? Everyone's risk tolerance is different, right? But everyone is like, oh, what if I fail? What if I do this? And honestly, you're probably not going to maximize the profit, but you're going to learn the most from that one failure, from the one job that you just basically lost the most. You're going to recover. Like it's just going to be a little bit more process to recover. And sometimes you might get lucky. You might find that deal that makes you, $100,000 triple digit flip. But at the same time, I mean, that you have to do that at a high level to be able to accomplish that. That's 20, 30 years of experience to get to that level,
Absolutely. And so for me, that was so important, pivotal, but I didn't stop, right? And then I found pace in the whiteboard. Marlon's in the background. Tyler's back there somewhere also, something like that. And it's just amazing to see their growth now that I'm looking back on the video.
I'm going to post
And the last one is really Ask Vin. If you go on Instagram, look up Ask Vin. He's an amazing guy that teaches about communication, and he also talks about mindset. And like I go back to mindset now because again, for a long time I had no idea what that meant, and now I'm understanding. And as I'm growing and really self-evaluating, investing in my mind, my heart, my soul, like I'm growing, and I'm appreciating masterminds. I'm appreciating reading books. I'm appreciating connecting with other people, so that one simple nugget that would shift my mind is so vital moving forward. So yeah, Thatch Pace obviously is forever in my heart, the king of everything. And then Ask Vin, like, grow in your mindset and communication skills.
Dude, I've been watching his Vince stuff when it started like kind of blowing up. I found him randomly when he had like, I don't remember what number it was. It was less than 1,000 some followers or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, it was like I found him randomly because it was like the stuff that I was watching was like speaking and like how to like do whatever, and I liked it. And it's funny enough, he liked some of the things that I like reposted or something like that, and I was like, oh man, this guy's actually watching the stuff that is getting posted around. So his interaction was huge, and I'm just like, but then I found out his mastermind's in freaking Australia. I'm like, I can't leave my family for 14. I mean, it's hard enough to leave for 3 days. I'm not flying 14 hours to go see it.
Well, we could do a mastermind. We could all go. Call it a mastermind. Let's go.
I don't know. We should call him and
Take
be like,
the family. Let's go.
Hey, can you? It's easier for him to come this way. Can you come this way? We should tag him in this video and see like, hey, could you?
Well, what we need to do is we need to have like 8,000 people commit, and then we can message him, right?
Yeah. And I think he'll do it for 30 people, 40 people.
I don't know.
I mean, that speaking fee is going to be expensive though.
I don't know. But that's me. Thanks.
Awesome. I love it. Thank you, Myron.
Cool. Thanks, Kurt. I'll post my 3 videos. I think I have mine in the chat, or did you do it? No, here.
I can do it for you.
It should be in the description, right? Can we put it in the description?
I'm gonna do that once we.
Yeah.
Once we get it posted. I'm just gonna push it in here first.
So my first video is from it's Eric Thomas, which is mindset basically. It's ton of mindset is even your success, even though you have success, you can still, even though you see someone else's success, you can still outwork that person. right? You see somebody with a jet and you think, oh, they must work really hard. You'll never get there. It's about mindset. That I've seen that video. I think that video right there has 3 million views. I'm probably 1 million of them. I've watched it so many times. And it's like I have to watch it every couple months because it feels different. I hear it differently each time. And one of the best things he said in the beginning was people can see how well off you are, and people can see how your strengths. People can see your strengths, but you cannot see your strengths, and you are in your own way, pretty much.
Absolutely.
And you they'll tell you, Kirk, what you could do is this. John, what you could do is this. And you're like, man, I don't want to do that. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. And so I listen to that video. I watch it. I'll like just go take a walk and listen to it. It's like freaking amazing. But anyways, next one, bigger pockets. I think everybody starts with bigger pockets, but this guy, Chris Voss, is a little bit different, right, on negotiations. And I love how Chris Voss kind of thinks. He thinks before he speaks. I know there's some controversy about how well he closes deals or whatever, but I mean, whatever. You can kind of take things from Pace, take things from Chris, take things from Alex, and whatever. You know what I mean? Like put your own spin on stuff. I like how Chris mixes things up. And if you get his book, what is his book? Never Split the Difference.
Never Split the Difference, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Get that on audiobook because you can hear some of the ways he
delivers the message.
But yeah, he overcomes objections, right? And that's in our game. That's really what you do all day long. You overcome objections all day long.
Yeah.
And so starting with Chris, I think it's a great idea. My last one was with Alex Hormozi. Big fan of Alex Hormozi. This one is building your social media. And it's basically, I'm not going to ruin it, but like I have on the other ones, but it's basically provide value in the way of explaining. Let's see here. Provide the product, provide the information, but sell the implementation. And so you have a way to close a seller finance deal, how to close a RV park on seller finance or whatever it is. But you can tell people that all day long, but they don't know how to do it, and they're going to pay you to help them do it, right? Yeah. So if you over provide with value, then people will come to you and bring you deals. Don't worry about keeping all the secrets to yourself. That's basically what Alex's social media platform does.
I mean, just the way that he presents everything is just like, man, that guy's a smart dude. I mean, the way that he structures everything and delivers it, you're just like, it makes sense. That's why the videos are called the Hormozi style videos. Like, like people like that's a thing now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like he probably didn't think that the way that he delivers the message is going to be like named after him, but the way that he does it is now considered a Hormozi style video. Like people want that Hormozi style video, and it's just like, that's his. Like you can create your own, but ultimately it's still his, But so I had a tough time doing this because I selectively find problems and then like I just find that specific solution to that video, right? So it's like I don't have like something that I was like, oh, where would I go back and do? Like, and then the thing is, this is 4 years later of video channels, of video people that I wish I would have had time to study before I jumped in and did anything. Not necessarily study, but just understand like more real estate concepts before like doing what I basically do. Generally speaking, my attitude is like, I will put myself in in a situation where I'll figure it out. I don't really care. I'll figure it out. Sometimes it ends up well. Sometimes it's flat on my face. I don't really care. I don't necessarily think it's considered risk. It's because yes, it's part of Hard Knocks, but then it's also at the same time like, okay, great. Now I know what to do and how I can do it better next time. Like I'm an experience-based player, or the way that I learn is like I look at people and I go, okay, I can do that better, or I can do that, or I feel like I can do this, and then I'll just practice this better, right? So that's kind of how I perceive knowledge. And when I see a problem, then I go, okay, who can figure this out? And then what video do I need to see to figure out that problem? And then, all right, cool, I'll come back to it, and then just kind of bookmark that. But my 3 people, or not necessarily people, 3 channels that I wish was more prevalent now than was before. I started watching King Kong. You guys all know, Show Me the Money guy. You guys all know him.
Monet.
Show me the monies. Let's go get this monies. Surprisingly enough, I started watching his stuff like when he started pushing out a lot of high content with him and Ryan Pineda were doing that like content off right before in the beginning of the pandemic, I think. So I was watching his stuff a lot and understand that like, the objection portions I wish I would have paid a little bit more attention to, because obviously what Brian just said, the objection portion was like, okay, cool. I get having the first part of conversation. I was like, okay, I got there. How do I get to the next part of conversation? And then I'd go back and watch it. Instead of watching the entire video, I just stop right there and then watch this. And then when I got to it, stop right there and then try to get on a call. So spend a little bit more time preparing for the objections than not. And he has a lot of good ways of navigating that. And a lot of his content in the beginning was a lot of seller calls to show that, hey, he can get through said objection by this certain way. And the crazy thing is like, he's been doing real estate for a long time and he's just popping off. He has an accent, but he's so confident in the information that he's experienced that it doesn't matter. He's calling into middle America, right? He's calling into middle America. So it's like, no one has any excuse. I mean, I'm not US born, but we don't have accents, right? We don't have to have that fear of being an immigrant and doing that, but he's just crushing it,
Hey, that's a great point. I never thought of that he does have an accent. And there's part of me that was like, I didn't even think about that. You're right. He
I mean, that's the biggest
right?
fear. Yeah, that's the biggest fear with some people. English is a very difficult language enough just to learn, right? Just to be able to say the basics and get to that point. But then his real estate knowledge and his confidence of the way that he's like, it doesn't matter what they say. It doesn't matter how I sound. I'm just going to have a conversation. That brings me to Mr. TTP himself, Brent Daniels' channel, right? His channel is just about having the initial conversation and being able to squeeze as much juice out of that conversation as possible. Ultimately, our business is about having conversations. If you can't have conversations consistently, you're not going to get the leads. You're not going to get the offer sent out. You're not going to do that. So I kind of wish I would have learned about kind of Brent's conversational structure and then learned about pace. But then I found about pace and then found about Brent Daniels. I was like, this is all backwards for me, right? In my mind, I was like, oh, okay, let's learn the artistry and then learn the technicals behind it. Like, that's just kind of how I work. So I was like, okay, I wish I would have gone back and listened to a lot of his stuff on the way that conversations should be delivered and the entire process. And then another OG of people that I follow is Maxwell. I use his some of his comping techniques and his list pulling techniques still to this day is part of my training material. I have pulling list, watch this video. It doesn't have anything else. Pull list this way from list source. And I'm pretty sure everyone knows what video I'm talking about. It has like 400,000 views, like maybe 500,000 views. But that video, I have to watch every single time I go to list source because I'm like, how do I do this again? Okay, it's been 30 days. And now my VAs I just be like, this is the video. Save this video as a favorite because this is what I watch. His stuff from when he first was like going like kind of in depth of his business when he was building it was super interesting on the way that the content was rolled out, and I just kind of keep up with this stuff because I've been following him so long. So those are my top 3. Obviously, Pace's stuff because he's our mentor and he's the one that kind of brought this community together. But if you were to start off right, to kind of understanding what investing or wholesaling is, I think starting with these type of videos, your mindset is number 1, right? You guys clearly have that. Social media branding is number 2, and then kind of understanding principles of wholesaling through those 3 eyes is my recommendation as a starting off point for any dad at any level. They're like, hey, I want to, instead of watching ESPN for half an hour or whatever podcast I'm listening to, if you're like, I want to get into real estate, I would start there, because those like bigger pockets. I mean, we not like all the heavy hitters in this, Steve Trang has stuff, and a lot of the Arizona guys. The reason why it's Arizona is the mecca of wholesaling is because a lot of the content, the good information is coming out of Arizona. Phoenix is by far one of the most saturated markets, but at the same time, they all collaborate, which is incredibly crazy. Like all of them are competition. That's it for me. So I think going back to what's next though, how would you, okay, all right, what we learned from there, now our topic is how we would start all over. What would you do to start all over? What information, or let's say 5 steps you would do if you could start all over? Do. And this is just a what do you call? Let's just freeform it.
Hypothetical?
No, not for hypothetical. Like if you could go back 2 years ago, or a year and a half ago, 4 years ago, like when you got into real estate, the first 3 months, what I wish I would have done. Like tell your younger self, you press that Back to the Future 88 miles per hour, right? You go, hey, stop watching that Instagram video. Watch this instead. Watch it in this order. Like, what would you have done to speed up the process, to get to where you are now, potentially a short amount of time? But because the reason why I say that is because time is the one thing that we're never going to get back, right? We all spent this amount of time to get to where we are here, and we're not satisfied. How do we condense it for a new dad, right? You might just have a new baby, might just be getting into like, hey, who can I just even like ask a question to, right? How do we even like, what is this whole real estate about? Like, like how is that legal, or this, or like, if you could kind of condense what you've learned and been like, hey, these are the top first 3 or 4 steps that you should do trying to get into real estate.
Well, since I started sharing, I'll start again.
Yep.
Just to be fair. Man, this is really tough. I think if you had asked me this 3-4 months ago, I was telling people I would lend first. I would lend and JV and watch and try to gain as much experience as through the people that are doing it. So through lending. Mm-hmm.
Lending, explain that to people, because remember, we're trying to talk to guys, or we're trying to talk to people that have no idea what that is. You obviously have gotten private money, you have done private money, so that's not, I'm saying in lending, like why lending, right? First, I just want to break that down so that people can say, and then JV is next. But what about lending makes sense to you? And what if you don't have money to lend? Like where does that order come in, right? Because a lot of people that are getting into real estate are like, hey, I want something extra. I don't have $1,000 or $2,000, $3,000 and then $5,000 at the end of the month to buy a course to do this, right? We're trying to do this as low cost as possible. So if you had to do it that way.
Great point. So start over.
Reset. 88 miles per hour.
But I think what I was trying to convey was, if you had asked me, because I'm in this for a year and a half, and I've kind of jumped in, and I appreciate all the mistakes that we made, because it's every single mistake that we did has produced what I am today. and I'm grateful. I'm not bitter. And that in it itself, that mindset shift is from this journey, right? So number one, it's like that's why it's really hard. I just value my mistake. And to if you had asked me the same question 3 4 months ago, I would have said, okay, start off by even lending like $2,000 to EMD, right? Just what I meant by lending was just get into it by partnering with someone that's doing it, by partnering with someone that actually knows what they're doing. And obviously the question is, well, how do you find that person, right? So 3 months ago, that would have been my recommendation. I think my recommendation now goes back to one of the things our mentorship ask of us is talk to 50 people. And it's not just even talking to 50 people. It's really, how do you befriend 50 people? I don't think I even accomplished the 50 people yet, right? And just the number of people on my list, I've gained so much from already. And I picture the day when I actually have a list of 50 close real estate friends. Wow, where would I be then, right? So my recommendation now is get 50 friends, not 50 phone calls, but really how do you build and deepen that relationship with the 50 friends in real estate?
Yeah.
That's free.
That's hard. No, I mean, I think that's really hard because, again, our not necessary demographic that we're talking to are guys that are been stuck in their ways, doing what they're doing, hanging out with the same friends. Don't get me wrong, I love my friends. Like, I love my friends, right? We have the most fun ever, right? Whatever we're doing. But at the same time, I have to take myself out of my comfort zone, go out and introduce to 50 people and build a relationship. For a guy like me, it's pretty simple. Like, I'm extroverted. I like to talk. I don't mind like being whatever. But at the same time, introducing myself is terrifying, right? It's terrifying. So for someone for a guy that's trying to learn real estate and to be like, hey, how do we vet these people to become friends with, right? What would you recommend in doing? Like, was it, hey, go to a RIA? Is it join a Facebook group? Who do you reach out to, and what type of advice can you believe in? You know what I'm saying? How would you vet your first 5 people that you introduce? Is like kind of my question, right? Because you could drill that down and say, yeah, 50 people, go introduce yourself to 50 people. But at the same time, the first 10 people you meet are maybe you keep in touch with them, you hit a home run, and I mean, me and Myron literally had like maybe 3 conversations before we went to dinner, and he offered driving me around. It was like it just clicked. Sometimes it's gonna work like that, right?
Yeah. Well,
other times it's gonna be like, I don't know, my vibe with that person is not necessarily the best. So, but that person might not, even though the vibe might not be great, they might have information that you potentially need or have a solution to a problem that you need. How do you kind of like meld that together?
One thing that Elena and I have been doing and learning and trying to kind of practice in our real estate venture is we lead with value, we lead with generosity, and we lead in this friendship giving the benefit of the doubt. So everyone has a clean slate. We love on them right off the bat. So when I say like I haven't named my 50 friends yet, I most likely talk to 50 sub-2 students.
Sure.
But what I'm saying is it's not just make 50 phone calls. How do you make that 50 friends? And how do you lead with value, lead with giving, lead with no expectation, lead with a blank slate, and you see what they give back to you. And it's gonna take time. It's not gonna be an overnight success. It's not gonna click right away every single time. But it's you lead and you see how they respond. And how they respond will tell you who they are. And what Jamil shared in one of the mastermind of like you thank them if it's not great partnership or great experience, you thank them, you bless them, and you grow and you move on. But the ones that give back, I think that's why the three of us are here. There's that friendship that's developing because I've led with value, I led with generosity, and you guys did the same thing. So here we are. We're developing that friendship.
Absolutely. I think that's super key. Like what you said, leading with value to the point where you're like, if you decide not to hang out with me, cool, that's fine. No harm, no foul.
I didn't lose anything. You lost, my friend.
Yeah, it's like that. Yeah, I completely agree with that. Absolutely. Myron,
I think I love it, Kurt. I get these vibes, like a feeling. Like if I'm talking to somebody new, it's almost like instantly I know whether I'm vibing with them or not. Like they haven't even started talking. And it's just a feeling I get. I'm like, I don't like this person. I don't like this person.
That's cutthroat.
Huh?
That's cutthroat.
It's pretty cutthroat, man.
Hey, Myron, be honest. The first time you met me, I think I was in that corner. You cut me out the first time you met me.
Really? I don't think so. No, I think with us,
I think I clawed my way back into your good grace.
No, it'll be apparent. You would know, but I'm nice, but like it's almost like, hey, this is a working relationship. That's it. But when I vibe with somebody, I'll call them and just like shoot the shit. You know what I mean? Just talk to them. That's a short list. That's a short list for me. But
absolutely.
I think that's a great advice though. To get started was land or squat up or whatever. But really the first step is you don't even know who to squat up with.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. And that's the other part is like, John, there's how many partnerships have you been in that were like total waste of time? Not waste, but a total crap show. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, my first couple conversations before even in sub 2, like, there's people that I talked to that just was like, yo, I can't. Like, it's funny you say that because I had someone reach out to me randomly, and it wasn't in sub 2. It was just another investor. And the conversation we had, I've had this with multiple people, right? And this is when I was first starting. It was pretty hilarious. I told them, I was like, hey, this is how I like to do business. I'm very transparent on where my fee is. I'm doing this. I'm willing to work with you, blah, 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 right? I just want to be transparent so it's all on the table, right? So that there's no like, hey, you did this or this. And this lady, I think it was a lady. I'm pretty sure this lady, the person that I'm thinking about was like, every step of the way in the conversation was very, not necessarily misleading. From what I can remember, it was like very like hard to have a conversation. Like I was just like, so what's going on with this? And then where does this, like, do you want to buy? Like just very hidden on every level. And I'm just like, look, if you want to buy this, great. If you don't want to buy this, great. Just let me know. But there was smoke and mirrors, like, oh, I have this. And then she brought this back. And I'm like, God, like, what is like, I know I'm new, but this can't be the way to have a real estate conversation. Like, and I think I was probably like 6 months into the business. Like, it was just like 6 months into it. And I'm just like,
was it a wholesaler or just someone
It was a wholesale bringing me a buyer, and she was like trying to like protect her buyer, and I'm like,
I see.
I don't care about your buyer. Are we gonna have a relationship going forward? And obviously, we haven't discussed anything since. I don't even remember her name, but it's like we haven't. Like, no one from DC called me, so it's like it's fine. You know, it is what it is. But it was just like, man, this like. And the crazy thing was, it's like I didn't even understand about mindset when I first started. It wasn't even about that. It was basically like me being like, hey, I know what I don't know, so how do I get better? How do I open myself up and provide as much as me as possible to get to where I need to get to? Like, who's gonna appreciate that, right? It's like you could lead with value. Like, I didn't understand those words before. It was like I'm just gonna be transparent and to be like, hey, I'm gonna work hard for whatever process we're gonna have, right? That's kind of like where I led with. Like, you know, you're gonna want to work with me because I'm gonna put in the effort, right? I'm gonna have the positive mindset. I'm gonna do this, like not necessarily mindset. I'm just gonna have a positive attitude. I'm gonna show up and do what I need to do. Oh man, that conversation, I still remember it. I got done that conversation. I was like, this person is not someone I want to do business with. Like, and you're right, man. Like, you will vibe with people that you need to. But I think the question becomes is, you don't stop at 50, right? You first, as an introvert, extrovert, doesn't matter. You just go through one after the next, after next, after next, after next. You might have to go through. I mean, there's 8,500 students. You're not going to click with all 8,500 students. That's just mathematically impossible.
Dude, you keep meeting new students all the time, every day. You know, you like meet new ones. Yeah. I met a new guy yesterday, so it's just like all the time.
Yeah, and then that's not on top of the 37,000 people are in Face's free group that are like trying to do business with you, right? Like
37,000. I thought it was like 100. Anyway,
is it? I can't even keep track.
Yeah, I thought it was 80. I don't know.
Oh, I mean, last time I looked at it was 37. So if it's more than that, then that's how long I haven't looked at it.
True.
But that's the thing. Like, you just have to. Again, it boils down to having the conversation, right? You
Absolutely.
can't, because you're like, you know how everyone says, oh, your network is your net worth, and it's true because, you know, like Chris said, you have to start what? You start from the bottom. You learn from who you want to learn from, right? Like, how can you trust this person? You lead with value. You just do what you need to do, right? And then you get to the next. You filter through like 15, 20, 30 people, 40 people, 50 people, because eventually you're going to have a book of business, not a book of business, but a book of friends that you're going to be like, oh, these are the people that I can rely on because they saved me from this. They want to join venture with me. They brought me private money. They did a deal. They answered a question. They said what's up to me. Like, it's simple things. And then we have to juggle all that process as a dad, right? I mean, that's the crazy thing, right? We're doing this all in short little spurts, ultimately.
Myron is correct. 83.5.
I was on there like 2 days ago. I go on there every couple of days or every week or something and just kind of like put
Catch
on
up.
sub 2. I like do a search for sub 2 deal, sub 2 assignment. Maybe I can help somebody dispo a deal or something. But it's so crazy how many new people are on there. And how can I say this right? New people think that they are owed something. How can I say? I don't want to say the wrong thing, man. But people think that
just say they're entitled little
paid by pace. We're not getting paid by pace. So like, I don't owe you my time. I want to collaborate, but it's like, I don't owe you answers. I'm sorry.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so sometimes I think people get ahead of themselves or they just don't know. They don't understand. But the reason why I want to help so many new people is because my story, when I first started real estate, is nobody wanted to help me.
Nice.
Like, literally, I got no.
Love
like,
it.
how can I flip that, right? And so, what's up, Kent?
Kent, do business with Kent.
Yeah, do business with Kent. Do business with all these guys, but finding the right people. The thing that I struggled with the most was I wanted to figure it out. And I wanted to figure it out so I had some status, because I felt like nobody wanted to work with me because I didn't know, right? And so I'm like, man, I just want to go. I guess I'm the best at just taking action and failing and learning. And where I got stuck was the people who I squatted up with were exactly in the same boat as me. And that was a bad move. Don't squat up with people who are literally on the same level as you. Squat up with somebody who is a little bit ahead of you and a little bit below you. And like, what's that? Where you like lock arms, man. Bring people up with you as you rise up.
Absolutely.
With you, versus going nowhere, going nowhere, right? And so if I were to start all over, it would be meeting those 50 friends and locking in with some people who are actually making money, who are doing some deals, who can help you level up. And you're going to bring up, and you're going to be talking to other people, bring up some other people with you. Because, like, if you talk to some of the bigger names for me are Don Rich, Chad Glover, just a lot of the people. Kirk, you've been talking about a lot of people, but people who are doing $100,000 a month in that range. How can you do deals with those people? How can you do deals with people in that range to learn about how to do what you want to do? And you're going to sit there and fail over and over trying to figure it out. But like, the cool thing about this community is like, it's not so much boasting about what you've done, but it is how can we collaborate together? And it's like, I don't want to say the wrong thing. Bigger Pockets, it was not like that. Any other
we support Bigger Pockets though. It's not
I love Bigger Pockets. But like the community part was missing, and Sub 2 is, I go,
nothing like it.
Is if we got Bigger Pockets investors who don't know how to do what they want to do, and get the Bigger Pockets investors, Burr people, whatever, to do Sub 2 with us. We have, how many users are there in Bigger Pockets? Who knows? 1 million?
I have no idea.
That's money. That is literally money waiting for us.
So to your point, right? What I've also been learning is to start is really taking action. Because you just mentioned Bigger Pockets, how it's like 1 million people. They sit and consume content, soaked in their fear, not taking action. Right? We were all in that category at some point where, I watched Bigger Pockets too, and it was like I was just sitting there passively listening, and then hearing people doing stuff and saying, how come that's not me, or why can't I do that? And so taking action, 50 people taking action, that differentiates you from the other guy taking action.
Watching Pace makes me believe that I can do it.
Yeah.
I mean, that guy's superhuman. Like just,
he makes it look too easy. So and it helps us to jump in.
Alex Hormozy makes me feel like I'm not good enough.
But that's not the point of his stuff, though. His stuff is like, look, all you need to do is XYZ, right? Like, he's like, this is all you need to do, but it's like compressed 20 years of knowledge into like 3 days, which is still awesome. Like, just again, I think as guys that want to learn real estate, right? Guys that want to, dads that eventually, learn where to spend their time and prioritize. That's ultimately the hardest thing to do, right? You're so stuck in your ways. It's still so hard to change. But as you do, you basically learn that there are communities out there. There are people that are willing to give you their time. We all hit on points that basically say, show up, commit to it, consistency, learn the basics, and then provide value, and then you will be able to do what you need to do. That's the bottom line. Whether it's, again, a jet to 5 rentals or Disney, like whatever the case may be. Ultimately, it's like we're making it work. Imperfect action, right? We're doing it with 3 different time zones, 3 different backgrounds, right? I mean, it doesn't matter. Just we are prioritizing our family and our futures because of this. And that's the bottom line, right? Ultimately, all this basically boils down to, are you going to show up? Can you be coachable and bring value? And that's basically it.
Love it.
Cool. We are hitting our 1 hour mark. So we are going to call it quits.
Well, I'm thankful for all the people that showed up and said hi to us and listened to us.
Yo, we got 7 people.
Yeah.
Woo! That's all it takes. We got 2 people on live. At one point we had 6 or 7 here. We have 7 people here. 7 people stuck out with us. Thank you. Thank you. I don't know how I can see if there's a list or something. Like I'm on the StreamYard and I'm on this, but at the same time I'm like, where do I see the people who's on the live?
They have to speak up. They have to make a comment.
Oh.
Yeah, well, if you're there watching, say something. Put in pineapple.
Pineapple is a safe word for their.
Yeah, pineapple. Yeah, so either way, we love you guys. Thank you for showing up on us on our little
supporting
3 dads. Yeah, supporting us in every way. Oh, speaking of support, it's a funny thing.
We got a sponsor?
I'm sure. No.
I'm gonna say what?
He's wearing one shirt. I'm wearing one shirt. No, it was. I'll tell him next thing because we'll talk about it next time because I want to talk about this. It's an idea that I had, but anyways, we'll talk about it next time.
Is it a giveaway?
Oh, we're doing a giveaway. I'll do it.
I don't know. We have to hit some subscribers before we can do that. We need to monetize the channel. let's make $1 before we start giving away stuff.
Subscribe and I'll give you 1,000 record list for low equity.
Ooh.
So, we get to 100. The 100th subscriber will be that doesn't work. How can I do this? I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure something out.
Now everyone's gonna have to wait.
Yeah,
waiting for other people.
Until 99. Boom.
That's gonna be the slowest. This is the slowest transition. Well, we have 25. They're gonna be like 25, and then be like, oh, I guess I'll subscribe now. This is gonna take too long. No, I think bottom line is I appreciate all you guys. I appreciate the conversations. I appreciate the hour that you guys spend with me every 2 weeks to do this. I'm very looking forward to these afternoons because it's like, where can we come and do something like this and just, try to help some dads, try to make it a priority, and we're making it work. Bottom line, right?
Yeah, and Ken was just saying, this is something I do. I try to like and comment on my friends' IG accounts as much as possible, repost. So do the same thing to everyone else. You're there, you see it, just put a heart, say something cool, help each other out. Like my S.
Yeah,
guys. Thank you, Ken.
Thank you, Ken. I appreciate you guys. All right. So until 2 weeks from now, we'll have a little bit better schedule. Maybe. I don't know. I think just doing it off the cuff, like literally we planned this out a couple days ago. But hey, we're doing it imperfectly, making action. Hopefully we'll have a logo within the first month. That's what we're praying for. Okay, guys.
We can have a logo by next meeting.
Can our logo be like the 3 blind mice?
We could. I feel like there's copyright infringement there.
Show me some workups, Tank.
Yeah, you're the designer. You should already had this already figured out in your mind.
That's true.
Okay, that's not my specialty. So, anyhow, I appreciate you guys. Thank you. Okay.
All right.
I will call it a day. Thanks. Peace.